Good evening, everybody. We are here tonight to watch some Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. My name's Gretham. In the booth here, I'm joined by Glue, and we are here to watch some creme de la creme of the community, 3 racers from our Mega Elixir division. How are you doing tonight, Glue?
I am doing fantastic, Retham. Yeah, we got some Mega Elixir runners. They were all gracious enough to volunteer their time and their week 1 race for our viewing pleasure. Yeah, and it should be a good one.
Yeah, this should be fun because like I was saying, these 3 are all Mega Elixir runners, all incredibly quick. So we should have a fun race.
Most definitely. Full disclosure, I am also in the same tier as these runners, or in the same bracket, but I have obviously already done mine this week. Don't ask me how it went. I won't tell you. I'm still mad about it, but nevertheless, still should be a good one. Gotham, I'm going to tell them we're going to kick off in 60 seconds.
Okay. The last time together, when we commentated a Schwann's race, it was
Yes.
incredibly cursed.
Yes, and I'm hoping for the same result. But
the runners might not be hoping for a curse seed, but hey, as the commentators and hopefully the chat wants, we like curse seeds. Makes it more entertaining.
Yeah, that was the last time we saw Schwantz in action. That was in the Kefka Grand Prix finals. He ran a little bit of difficulty, a little Madam Outsider action. Is that in the future for him tonight? You never know for sure, but we will see. About 30 seconds, we will be getting started.
Yeah, and that. So you won that Kefka Grand Prix, so I guess you're gunning now for another Ultra or an Ultras League win. Finally, knock Falcon hit off the top spot.
Maybe, but speaking of top dogs, Gretham, this big dog right here has been doing big, amazing things. Gretham is our second ever Moogle Cup winner, so a little bit of championship glory in this booth tonight. Blessed we are in here to be able to call ourselves that, and yeah, we'll see how the season goes. I'm going to drop the gate right now for them.
Okay, let's see what characters we start with. So, maybe like that one seed I ran recently with a Go-Go, Umaro, and a Sketch Strago start. That could be some fun times of awful.
Yeah, most definitely. I will say you can see on the screen right now that there is a double Fancy Gal in the hash. I am big believer in Fancy Gal is the best possible hash, second only to Interceptor. So very fortuitous, ominous sign of what's coming here. Good times are ahead, hopefully.
Anytime you get a double or a triple in a hash, something's gonna go down.
Absolutely. And the gate has been dropped. A little bit of delay, but they'll be getting started here shortly. So Gretham, you are participating in Ultras League yourself as well. Before these talented runners get started, why don't you talk about a little bit about what you are looking for when you get started in an Ultras League seed?
So what I like doing is, because we talked about the Moogle Cup a little bit, it's kind of completely changed my playstyle. I just go, pretty much ignore all the looting spots, go to any free checks I have, and then hope to go to a check with a shop. Because looting's great and all, but it is gambling. So I just like going right into checks now as fast as possible. And we do have at least 2 free checks. I mean, Go-Go, if you find a warp stone, can be a free check, but the Edgar Castle check is an always nice free one to go right away too.
Yeah, and that is a Throw Cyan. Throw is probably my personal favorite ability, and a lot of other players' favorite ability to start with. Unfortunately, Cyan, for the character to be stapled to is not ideal, but you never complain when you get a free throw character.
Yeah, and especially when you have a Go-Go also, so you got a Throw Go.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you get 2 for the. Well, I want to say I was going to say 2 for the price of 1, but because of Go-Go's awful stats, it's really like 1.5 for the price of 1. And then you take in Cyan's awful stats as well, so it's like 1.25 for the price of 1. So still more than 1, but not quite 2.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's fine. You know, maybe get a Magistrate, bump up his stats a little bit. Because early on, you like to see those schemes to throw, but eventually, maybe he has decent enough vigor to start throwing some ninja stars or throwing some weapons for some big hits once he gets some levels going.
Yeah, throw early is very powerful with schemes, even in with Cyan's less than desirable magic stat. A little bit of divergence here. Schwantz is saying no bueno to the traditional start. He wanted to go see what Edgar was all about, and it got his free check from the throne. Falcon hitting double down, eventually going to make the way over there as well, but you're going a little different paths. Schwantz is also going to go see what's going on with Edgar's other perk, and that is the discount shopping in Water Ruin South Figaro.
It's always nice to get Edgar in the lead of the party and just have all those discounts. You maybe run into some rods, maybe run into some good accessories, and you can just break the seed with that discount, being able to just buy power so easily.
Yeah, little different thinking here. I personally believe in waiting until you come here to this. I personally like to do the South Figaro check with Edgar on the back half of my looting path. That way, I have money to buy anything that I may or may not want. I guess Schwartz's thinking here is that, hey, I come here early. I know what was or wasn't here. May I just come back later if there's some good stuff going on that I want to dip my toes into. But if not, oh well, I got it out of the way. I can go on about and operate under normal procedures. That's a flame shield in the chest. That's 2 flame shields now for Schwantz, I believe.
And I might be crazy, but I feel like I saw Atma weapon inside the house with this that you used to climb up the stairs. I could be crazy.
Yeah, that was the little apple cider house with secret entrance to the other house with the dungeon in the basement for some reason. Just normal things you see in a civilized town. Like South Figaro.
Just an old man, maybe in his glory days, was a bit of an adventure using an Atma weapon, and now he's just retired.
And now he's retired and just drinks cider, and then has his grandson fetch it for him.
Yeah. So at least with that Atma, we have a guaranteed user. We have Edgar. So
we do.
Depending on what other big sticks we get, that might be Edgar's job to just swing the lightsaber.
Yeah, that Atma weapon is fantastic later on, but it doesn't do us much good right now. It's one of those things that's better later as opposed to early. But is Schwantz going to save here and do some basement grinding? I think he is.
I think so.
All right.
So how do you feel about, now that you have an ammo weapon, are you opening up all the cursed chests you see, trying to get that offering? Or are you just walking past them because they slow you down?
Oh, I 100%. If you want to fish for an offering, my stance is you got to have something to go with it. You need the first part of the equation before you want to waste time looking for the second part of the equation. And because we got access to the first part of the equation so early, now that we have, two monster boxes and one of Edgar's checks, that's a great spot to, you're kind of torn. Do I want to do Ancient Castle or not? It's kind of a long way, and one of the perks of it is there's 2 chances of the monster in a box. Now that we really, really want to peak monster in boxes, that makes doing Ancient Castle more likely.
Yeah.
So definitely here.
Maybe with some luck, you can get some big power, because like you're saying, the two chests could get you your offering, and then of course there's the dragon there also, which could be good loot. And speaking of dragon, not one of the dragons you want to see, but it is a dragon.
That's 100% the dragon you want to see.
Oh, true.
Let's do that to it, and
Reviva, yeah.
Really, really good experience for the effort you have to put in. Yeah.
I was thinking he was going to be like the Skull Dragon, where he looks like an undead dragon, but he's not an undead dragon.
I think that was a Ragnarok. Oh my goodness. That was a Ragnarok in Water Ruin Zen, that double down down there. We're not going to buy one now, but we're going to plug that away for the goodie card later.
Yeah, just going to now just be looking for maybe like a Celes, Terra, Lock, just to maybe buy a couple of those and just start swinging away. This could very quickly turn into just hold A on fight command seed.
It's Cyan, for all the flack we were giving him early, does have actually a decent vigor stat. His problem is that he doesn't get access to all of the better swords by default. In this particular flavor of Worlds Collide of Ultros League, we do randomize the ability for characters to be able to equip random items they can't in the vanilla game. And in this particular this particular flavor, it is 1/3. So Cyan can wear everything he can wear in the vanilla game. You know, he can wear a Sky Render. He can equip a Strato for as far as swords, but there's definitely a lot of better swords out there. So every one of those good swords we may find, like that Ragnarok or the Atma weapon, he has a 1 in 3 chance of equipping.
And then Double Down found it's fan favorite item there, Super Ball, you know.
Oh,
Might
nice.
push towards the ancient castle, pop it on a dragon, hope RNG's on your side.
Well, you gotta get through the engine room first, and the spaghetti that stands and the bed of spaghetti that stands between you and the prize down there. Schwantz is gonna do yeah, he's doing a Zone Eater play. We haven't seen anybody else make the way over there yet, so Zone Eater is definitely one of those things you want to do it early as opposed to doing it later. The perk of going in there is that you get to hit a couple chests on your way. It's just kind of long and tedious, and you're subjected to some serious trolling if the RNG overlords do not bless you on your venture down there.
Yeah, just the big thing is just always trying to find those warp stones early so you can get out of there, because that can be a decent walk back out.
Ooh, that was a Force Armor at Zen.
Ooh.
And Falcon Hit said no bueno. He's taking the reset. Bridge Troll 1, Schwant 0. But that's okay. We'll push our way back up there and give it another try.
Yeah, it always sucks, you know, the first time you get knocked down, but it's like, oh well, I'll take 2 chests. It's anytime getting knocked down after that is rough.
Yeah.
Pause buffering. Oh, nicely
nice.
done.
Yeah, now we just gotta defeat the ceiling.
Yeah.
Now,
For some reason, I hate this room. I could not run to the first 2 chests while getting both of them. Just need clean movement for that.
oh, speaking of clean movement, do we get it? Oh no! Oh no!
Ooh.
So I was just about to say I probably haven't died at that ceiling since like 2003. Unfortunately, Schwartz, and that's an experience egg for Double Down. Oh my goodness. He was so excited about the experience egg, he started to do a little dance with his Edgar. And that's a huge experience egg to find because of the placement of it. That barrel chest can be different in both worlds. So nobody else is going to find it. Schwantz and Falcon have both already been there in the World of Ruin, South Figaro. So for the principal purposes of this race, Double Down will have 1 more experience egg than all 3 runners, or excuse me, 2 runners on screen, and myself personally. Oh my goodness.
Oh, now this seed is blessed.
Now business is booming. Can Falcon Hit himself defeat the ceiling monster?
Yeah.
He can.
Maybe see if that Yeti, maybe he can use a Ragnarok or Atma weapon, see if he can stick around. I know he'd be best with like a VK, but we'll see what we got.
Alright. Like Schwant's going to check out what's going on with the Masa. This is interesting because he's going off a little bit off the beaten path. And that could be, in fact, due to the guy to the left of him. As you alluded to earlier, Gretham, the only person that has more championship belts than you and I combined is Falcon Hit. So you got to, go outside the box if you want to take the guy down. He's not going to beat himself. You have to beat him some way, somehow. So that could be what Schwantz is thinking here. Let's go somewhere else. They're not going to go and see what happens. Unfortunately, we do know from Double Down screen that one of the things you hope to find when you do something like that isn't a spot we've already been.
Yeah, just always doing that like 1 weird shop check. It's like takes a couple minutes, but hey, nobody else is probably gonna do this unless we go super late and we have Strago and we are forced to do Strago checks. So not too many people are gonna be checking here.
Alright, so Falcon Hit taking a grind fight. Looks like he's gonna do some Coliseum action. Yeah, Double Down. Let's Double Down doing some. Oh, you know what? I like this
Ninja Stars.
I like this for Double Down. He has that Super Ball. He has that Go-Go. he doesn't have to take a grind fight. He just needs the dragon to not kill him before Go-Go can act a certain number of times, because we can just mimic that Super Ball over and over again until our heart's desire, as long as we stay alive.
Yeah.
Speaking of Super Balls, that's an elixir for a Super Ball in the Coliseum on double down screen. He's gonna. Ooh, that's an iffy fight, but we'll see.
Yeah, because this is Yeti's best spot, I find. Is just throw that Yeti early into the Coliseum, and he can usually take it, but RNG said no.
Yeah, Yamaro can really drink his Kool-Aid in the Coliseum, but not too many characters are gonna be able to be in Madam at level 3.
Yeah. Something that did pay off for Schwantz for checking those out of the way shops is he did find Ninja Stars. So that is gonna help his Cyan once he starts getting a little bit higher level to pump out damage rather than just sitting there with shurikens.
Schwantz is finding the Savin that's down at the Tentacle Factory. Falcon Hit is doing
Where?
less damage than what Madam can heal for, so I think he's gonna call it no more bueno on that one.
Well,
Yeah,
he doubled
that's a
down,
shame.
taking the dragon.
Very nice. That's a shame. If he can nab in a Super Ball or two, that essentially means his first 2 fights are free. And your most dangerous and your potentially longest fights are your first handful because you don't have any spells learned yet. You don't have access, to the levels to muster offense. So those are potentially your longest and most dangerous. Risking an elixir for a Super Ball, I get it. Unfortunately, it didn't work out because it essentially makes your first 2 fights free. The more you can get. That's another Ratma weapon. Oh my goodness.
So if you can't get an offering, a Genji Genji glove with double Atma isn't the worst thing in the world.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And double down was able to take out the Ice Dragon. Fortunately, wasn't able to get any power out of it, but he did secure himself a lot of money because getting that cat hood early. If anybody can equip it, can just start pouring in with money. And when there's a Ragnarok in a shop, you want money.
That is Fun Baba for Schwantz down there in the basement. Fun Baba, as you can tell from the visual side, his back end is just as beefy. He has quite a bit of HP, despite the level he may or may not be. Fortunately, it's not too much of a danger as long as you can mitigate some of the bolt attacks, but at level 7, this could still be a long fight here for Schwantz.
I mean, Fumbaba would just be hanging out in a room with a bunch of tentacles. Seems like a Fumbaba thing to do.
Well, he actually has the right gear, or excuse me, well, I say gear. He has the right type of toenails to easily navigate this slippery floor because he can get a good grip with those. And these spaghetti tentacles are not much of a danger to him.
Yep, right. And then got lots of variants going on. So we got Double Down going into Dream, and Falcon Hit running up Narsh. So a lot of variants here at the start.
Yeah, so Schwantz is through his Mababa fight. Double Down's, this is a little aggressive, but he has that egg. He's had a lot of things go right for him with that Super Ball and that Mount Zozo visit. Why not? Everything's been going so well. Give it a try, see what happens. Falcon Hit with his freshly found Yamaru is going to head on up to Yamaru's checks and kill a dragon and see what's going on up there.
And wait, is that an Illumina that Edgar's swinging?
Yeah, the rich get richer.
Okay. So this is the seed of big swinging swords. Okay.
Apparently. I guess it's blessed to be the commissioner of the Ultros League. Things just Illumina just fall into your lap.
Yeah,
They get emailed to you.
Yeah, it just creates the seed, and then it just asks for just an Illumina in a rag store, and it just happens.
That is Gal we see running out and about throughout the train. Apparently he no longer grows stronger on the belt. He goes stronger in Cyan's nightmares. So he's here now instead of there.
Yep, and we'll see if he can live up to the fancy Gao hash, see how what his 2 random abilities are. Because, maybe getting rid of some Yetis if Gao is good enough.
All right, so only Edgar can wear the Illumina. Falcon Hit just showed us, but that's fine. Edgar has some nice stats, and Edgar was born to wear the Illumina. It's a legendary sword. He is royalty. Just kind of goes hand in hand. Schwantz is going to get the bad news that this is a force armor, and he's going to have to take it and keep it.
Yeah, I mean, make some money at least, 'cause selling it for only 8,000. So, and we'll see if he eventually is in finds that rag shop or not. We got a Senor Behemoth over here on Falcon's hit side.
Yep. Schwantz is. I wonder where Schwantz goes from here.
Yeah.
Because he's, he's kind of at that point where you can only go so far off the beaten path before you start to get the territory of where you're just, hemorrhaging time. He is finding the Ragnarok shop that, Yamaru can wear that Ragnarok. That is fantastic news for us Yamaru lovers, but nevertheless, he's kind of at that moment now where he has to go back to the traditional path because he can only go so far.
He did get the Sabin from under Ancient Castle, I believe, so could be doing some Sabin checks. Because he does have the most characters out of anybody on the screen, so he might go different places, or we'll see if he ends up following other people's footsteps.
I will say Schwantz is a big proponent of nope to Ancient Castle. With what we've seen so far, that probably won't burn him. But that is kind of the danger when you nope out of Ancient Castle, is that if you had to go down there, or if there was really good progression to go down there, you will consistently miss out on it. But you also save the time, right? Because Ancient Castle is one of the longer checks in the game. So little pros and cons to it. I think he's been a little underwhelmed with what he's had so far, so he's doing a little backtracking. That's another force armor for him. Force armor, while not the ideal armor, a lot of people can wear it, so it's good to have it in a pinch. Double Down is done with his Doma Dream.
Yeah. And even if you don't end up using the force armor, sells for a decent amount. Oh, and then his Falcon Head gonna take the item. Another flame shield.
I think you do. He's ahead of scaling so much of that Gigantos that another fight where he doesn't push up scaling, that's fine, and you may need the checks later because of the way things have gone. It's just, unfortunately, this guy, Rexel, is a little bit of a time sink sometimes if you don't have an Ice Rod handy or stuff to pierce his high defense, but Shuriken's pierce that high defense, and that will do us well. As I say that, they throw for 800, but...
Yeah, Slad must... Ooh, he must not have the greatest vigor because he's doing as much damage as Go-Go.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll just proc Pearl and restore that 800 damage we dealt.
Yeah, and we have
Imperial
Schwantz.
Camp.
Yeah.
Imperial Camp for Schwantz. Another great benefit of finding that Super Ball and having Go-Go is now we could take that dragon with the Super Ball, and now we don't ever have to, or we never dirtied up the belt. We never sent monster formations here for Gao, so now we can go and just enjoy feasting on Lobos until we get our progression.
Oh, and that is some good progression.
Yeah, it's a quality character fine when you have a plethora of Illuminas handy.
Yeah, and you can use Illumina, you can use a rag from a store, find other people who can use Illuminas, so he's found some people to use those big swords. And of course, Locke has great checks too.
Yeah, he has 2 great checks and then one you really, really hate. But we'll take the 2 and pass on the 1. Yeah, so Double Down in the early lead, 5 characters, 1 dragon, 2 espers. Falcon Hit, 4 characters, 1 esper, 1 dragon, and Schwantz with 5 characters, no espers. But I do think he will get an esper from this because by nature of the Ghost Sprite.
Yeah, because early on you at least want A couple espers would be nice. You know, maybe get some because stat boosts are always best when you put it on early. But doesn't seem to be a whole lot of espers in this seed. Just a lot of dead checks.
Double Down is so wealthy these days, he didn't even think twice about passing on an Illumina for just the lowly Esper. My goodness.
I guess when you already have multiple Illuminas and rags, like, well, I guess you don't need it. Yeah.
Would you do that Curse Shield Gretham at a battle count of 12?
Probably not. Because unless, like, maybe if you have, like, a ribbon or a peace ring, maybe, but at this point, you have so much power, you don't want somebody to get slowed down by that shield.
Mm-hmm.
And you have so much offense with the big swords. Well, the big blue bubble's great, but why have a slow animation with high damage when you can have a fast animation with high damage? And these are two Curse chest fights you want to see. A Gigantos and a Katana Soul.
Yep. That Esper Schwantz got from the Imperial Camp was a Bahamut with +2 magic power, and Stay Still My Beating Heart, because that's a fantastic Esper. Just for the ability alone, as you're seeing right now, him casually pop off a 2200 Sunflare with Cyan of all people, my goodness. And we can do it one more time, just for fun with Go-Go.
Yeah, it's one of those Espers that, in a seed like Moogle Cup, where you can reuse Espers, definitely one of the better ones, just being able to just spam Sunflare like Schwantz is doing here.
Yeah, that's a really great heads-up play too, because just letting Go-Go mimic it over and over again and never breaking that cycle is probably his fastest DPS here. So just milking that for what it's worth, not trying to get cute. Not trying to just let Edgar swing and do, 600 damage or whatever. Just keep milking the 2200 Sunflare and get it over with.
Hope this either takes him down or Katana Soul doesn't knock out Go-Go here because he's down like 56 HP, and yep, that is enough.
Yeah, he's through. A little hypocrisy here out of Double Down, taking out his league's mascot. Yeah, puts the guy on the poster, then turns around and smacks him in the face with Illumina.
Yep, surprised Ultros didn't just give him another Illumina, though.
Yeah. Just the Lily Esper. We are up to 4 Espers now for Double Down. Falcon Hit is about to get his Gao, along with another Esper on the throne. I think that's full Burton protection now for Double Down as well, because that should be 3 Flame Shields and an Ice Shield.
Yeah, if you have Flame Shields with Merton, are just so good. Just being able to do all the damage in the world while healing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Just have to find some more Espers and hope one of them has Merton. Oh, speak of the devil there.
Speak of the devil.
Well, so pretty much anything type of offense you want, Double Down is finding it. I guess the only thing he hasn't found is an offering for an Atmo weapon. But
we know where the offering is by virtue of Schwantz, so he will have a very powerful Edgar, possibly in his future here shortly.
next, I believe his Edgar is rocking his EXP egg, so just gonna put some sort of big sword on Edgar, and he's gonna go to town because he found that EXP egg so early. Because in Worlds Collide, levels are king, and EXP egg gives you that extra XP for all those levels.
Yeah, Guardian here for Double Down. Gonna be no problem. Because we can just throw water edges, we can throw bolt edges, we can just pick our favorite one and throw it out there. I take it back. It might be a problem.
Guardian can throw shrapnel, and shrapnel hurts.
Yeah, I stand corrected.
This Guardian has hands. Well,
yeah,
enough to throw something.
That's all right. Locke can pick everybody up, and Edgar can, swing for comical amounts of damage.
Oh, no, he's trying to get everybody up. Because he is in the Ultros battle program, so he's low health. I guess he wants everybody to get that XP, but there goes Locke again.
Yeah, this is one of the few roadblocks Double Down has found so far. Good news for Schwantz. He has found Doomgaze. The bad news is I think he was very much aware of what his level were, and he's resetting out of that fight, saying no bueno to it.
Yeah.
That's all right. We know where it's at. We can come back later on our terms.
And on Falcon Hit's side, Gao was good enough to take. So I didn't see what skills he has, but good enough, I guess. Oh, Schwann's going up Mount Colts. Falcon Hit going to get his cat hood from the dragon here. How do you feel about Mount Colts? There's many divided opinions on this check.
It is fantastic for seed or flags like Ultros League and the Mogul Cup because of the 2 checks in one. There are a handful of checks throughout the game. This Ancient Castle, and World of Ruin Arch, where you can kind of shoehorn 2 checks into one the same time it takes you to do one. You can actually do Mount Zozo the faster than you can do Mount Colts, save for the time it takes you to do the bosses. But with that in mind, if you can do a number of those throughout your run, you can turn 3 checks into 6 or 2 into 1, or 1 into 2, 2 into 4, and whatever. And then that just pushes you closer to the skip faster, and prevents you from those scenarios where you're in that tough spot where you end up with 17, 18. If you've worked those in throughout your seed, then you can end up by 19 and 20 consistently. It gets skip more often than not. So fantastic for Ultras and Blue Cup. Less different circumstances. Less so because it does take you a while to get up here, and the dragon doesn't benefit you as much unless it gives you something really fortunate for you. Then it's just a different situation.
Yep, and so we got a spicy chicken sliding over here on Schwanz's side.
Yeah. Yeah, that's no spicy chicken doesn't mess around with Ragnarok users. That's no bueno. And this may be a hairy situation for Schwantz because I don't think he has any way to pierce his Poltergeist very, very beefy defense. And not only is Poltergeist a proverbial tank, he also has some offensive firepower. And yeah, it's just a sticky situation here for Schwantz.
It's looking like he's just stuck here throwing ninja stars for 800 damage and swinging with Rag for 300. Let's see how as much as proc does. It's not the worst. Still not amazing damage.
Eesh, Launcher is not what you want to see, much less when it targets all 4 of your party members. Meanwhile, Double Down has discovered that Saban was down in the basement trying to overthrow Figaro Castle. Turns out he didn't want to just concede to his brother; he wanted it all along. But we'll get down there. We'll root him out and get the castle back above ground.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he actually heads all the way down to the ancient castle, or if he just sees a Saban here and just decides to do all the Saban checks that Schwantz is doing.
He might, because remember, he doesn't know Katana Soul is at Imperial Camp because by virtue of not having Saban yet. So he may be thinking, hey, I need to go check these 2 monster boxes down there. It's benefit me greatly if there's an offering down there.
Yeah, it's the Saban here is a bit of a bait. But we'll see what he does after he gets through his Fum Baba just hanging out with tentacles.
Rybon, welcome on in. Don't feel bad. Some other guy that ran this seed was at 0 espers at the 30-minute mark. So that's not the norm if you do the things Schwantz and that other guy are doing here. However, I would take notes on what Double Down is doing because he is putting on a master class. 5 and 5. He is multiple checks ahead of the guy on top of him, the guy we are all chasing, and that's he doesn't know it, but he's really cooking with some gas here.
Double Down is blowing through this seed with all his big swords and throwing cyans, so it's just been fun watching how he goes into this seed.
Alright, so what do you think Double Down's going to do here, Eric Gutham? Do you think he's going to do Ancient Castle? Do you think he's going to clean off that desk he just walked by? What do you think's going on here? What's the move?
Because normally I would like Ancient Castle and just go into Ancient Castle and like, because it's the best time to do it. It's the time that you're here.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing for doing Ancient Castle is getting the power, which Double Down doesn't really need. And as you can see, he's walking away from Ancient Castle.
Yeah.
It can give you a lot of power, those 2 cursed chests and the dragon, but man, is it slow.
Yeah, plus he just needs 4 more espers. Now he's got access to all of Saban's amazing checks. So he's just gonna, get back on his horse and keep on going. Did Schwantz make it through that poltergeist fight? I missed it. We were so infatuated with how well Double Down has been doing that. I looked away and lost track.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, Joker.
It was a Mog.
Joker, our wonderful producer knight, informed us that he did. And that is right, because that is Mog, and I see Mog in this party now.
Everybody just getting their characters, but no espers.
Yeah, this is one of the side effects, though. Double Down applying that same Ancient Castle logic to Collapsing House, but we know there's no Katana Soul here based on some other information. So that's just unfortunate. That's going to be a little bit of a time sink, but to be honest with you, with how fast he's going to take down Telstar, it's almost no time loss. My goodness.
Yep, and just being able to throw a scheme and just wipe all these guys out instantly, not that much of a time loss. At this point, Double Down is going to be doing any fast checks he has, any peekable checks he has. He just wants to just get those last espers.
Ooh, that hero ring is very, very, very nice, especially with that end-game throwers. You don't have to worry about, do I give him Atlas armor? Do I give him an earring? Just give him one of those and everything will be just fine.
Yeah, and if you already have a hero ring, which you can also throw it on Illumina and Rag users, help out those procs.
Watts is going to unearth some new information for us. What's going on with the Lone Wolf situation? Halt, don't move, or this one's dust, he says.
Ooh, an offering.
Yeah. But we may go get... Schwantz can still do World War I Narsh. He hasn't done the Tritok spot. A little misleading because you see Tritok on your screen, but it doesn't matter if you've done it or not. He's still there. Still there either way. You kind of travel back in the time between the 2 worlds, some way, somehow. But nevertheless, that's great information to know. Yeah, there's a second offering we can have if we want it.
Because I believe he has 2 Atma weapons, so... Well, 1 Atma offering's good, so why not 2?
Yeah. If 1 is good, 2 is better. And we are going to do Kefka at Narsh. That's interesting. I guess he's just trying to pigeonhole his checks into each other and just, came up with this. I might as well.
Yeah, and just having this drop you right at the Mog battle right after is always nice.
Plus, remember, at the 35-minute mark, to only have 1 Esper is an awful feeling. So he's probably just thinking, hey, I just got to, capitalize on what I can. Katana Soul for Double Down. The rich get richer and even richer somehow.
I'm just interested to see what his final party is going to be and what's going to be in all those equipment slots. Because, man, does he have power in that inventory.
Man, does he.
I don't think I've ever seen a seed with this many swords. This is wild.
Well, we may need to check that this is, not the Moogle Cup and actually an Ultra Sleek seed. Oh no. Schwantz is running to the guy you don't want to see. Just reset. Tell him bye-bye.
Yep.
Yeah, that's...
Would much rather just walk down a mountain and fight. Oh?
Oh, no.
Wants a rematch.
Yeah, round 2.
Okay, so round 1 to the bad guys. We'll see if Schwantz can come out here on round 2.
Ooh, Double Down turning on the triple Enoch fight. With his levels, that's okay. Those guys can get out of control fast, but if you don't need the levels, no point in risking it.
Definitely a much more manageable fight here.
A little easier fight than the Triple Enox. I think Schwantz is going to come back up and just cast Bahamut and just summon over and over again. I think that's the move here for him.
Yeah, because if you don't have Berserk, this fight can be rude. Or maybe he'll crack a shield first. He has any?
Ooh, yeah. Well, here's the thing too. The shields are what's keep him alive through this fight, because if you have elemental diversity in your shields throughout your characters, he can't kill you in one turn, right? So any fire 3 he fires at you is gonna heal one person. Any ice 3, any blizzard he comes out, it's gonna damage one and heal the other. So ideally in that scenario, he just rotates enough elements that you're able to always keep some characters up. But maybe he does a fire 3 that kills one character, the next turn he does blizzard and kills the other. That's kind of how you go down there. But while you have all of those shields up, it does offer you some multi-layered protection across the things he will throw at you.
This is going to be a slow Magimaster fight. Because Go-Go's up there jumping. I don't know if he wanted to mimic the Bahamut and just spam that, but Go-Go's jumping. We'll see how Falcon Hit approaches his Magimaster fight here.
Yeah, this is the pivotal moment. Oh my goodness, and that's a Valiant Knife for double down.
He has Lumina. He has Ragnarok. He has Atmosphere. Now he also has a VK.
What doesn't he have? I don't think he has an Aura Lance because he hasn't killed the Poltergeist. Golly, he could really use a Magus Rod for that Go-Go. I think that Magus Rod will just complete his party 100%. Fortunately, he has a Pearl Lance though, so who needs an Aura Lance? We got a Pearl Lance, I guess.
Okay, so we have Falcon Hit starting off his fight with a Fire 3, and then we'll see how much non-elemental damage he has. Oh, his sign is throwing for so much more.
Yeah, plus he has Berserk by not triggering the element change. So this fight's going a little bit smoother for Falcon Hit than I would say it is for Schwantz by virtue of having that one spell. And that's just a bummer sometimes. Magimaster is either annoying or he's a big old teddy bear. And for one person he's annoying right now, and the other person's just that big old teddy bear.
I mean, they both got through it. Schwantz definitely had a lot more pain on it, but hey, he got through it. So that's what counts. Oh, does Double Down pass the math test? He does.
No. Alright, so Falcon Hit needs one more character, 3 more Espers. Just 2 more Espers for Double Down. And we don't know what's behind this Doom Gaze because Schwantz had bounced off it earlier for us, so we know he's here, but we don't know what he is giving us. But we'll find out here shortly, because with Double Down's endless offense, it seems this should be no problem for him.
Yeah. We have Falcon Hit heading over here to get his Sabin.
Alright, so we posed the same question about Schwantz. We asked it about Double Down, and we'll throw it out there one more time just not to discriminate against Falcon Hit. Do you think Falcon Hit here, Gretham, is going to go down the Ancient Castle, or is he going to pass on it?
Well, I'm going to say yes for this one. The first time, nobody did it, but Falcon Hit, he's probably not going to do it, but I'm going to say yes anyway.
So would you arrive at the conclusion that if Falcon Hit doesn't go down there, that only a fool would have gone down there in this seed?
Yeah, fool like me.
oh man, come on.
I'm guessing you went down there?
Maybe not.
Well, hey, I'll be right down there with you, so at least you're not down there alone.
We'll go back to the drawing board for next week. But
so I'm not sure if you guys caught that, but Double Down found Golem behind the Doom Gaze.
Oh yeah, that is Esper number 8. That is Golem. That is of the 27 Espers, I would say Golem is one of the top, 1 or 2 you love to find.
Yeah.
And I think they already had Fenrir from Collapsing House.
Yep.
So just
All right,
all the
so-
calmness protection. Might even just be able to just pop that Fenrir or Golem on phase 1 just to make it a little bit safer. Because and they have Phantom. So
My goodness. All right. Well, we do know Tritalk was an Esper. So Double Down's going to get another Lumina from the Ice Dragon if he chooses to take it. Plus, he'll get a Strength +2 Esper, which he really, really needs. He's really lacking in the offensive firepower right now. But nevertheless, he's going to have the unlock around 44 minutes here, Gretham. On a scale of 1 to 10, how impressive would you say that is?
as somebody who's never done that, I would say 11.
Oh, I think it's a 13. Maybe
Yeah.
even a 14 given the circumstances. Even doubly so impressive based on how far behind he is. Everybody else is from him.
Yeah, another thing, Schwann's peaked the Moogle defense, and I believe it was Terra, so he immediately reset.
Yeah, we don't need to be collecting characters when we have 2 Espers at the 42-minute mark, unfortunately. Bad news, that's the Berserk Esper for Swansea. If he had that a little bit earlier, that'd be a better find, but sometimes those are just the breaks in the seed. They go your way, they go against you.
And sometimes when you're doubled down, it seems like everything's going in his favor.
Yeah. Alright, so Falcon hit recertifying or re-emphasizing that only a fool would go down to Ancient Castle here. So take that hint if you will. Yeah, so Swanson's going to get his Gal here at least now. I do think this was a double Esper, so at least he'll walk out if you're at 7 characters and 5 Espers.
Yeah, it just, man, like that feeling when you're 40 minutes into a seed, you only have 3 Espers, not even enough to put one in all your characters. That feeling is awful. I mean, I guess it's better than being stuck here with only 3 characters, but man, it's always nice to have at least 4 Espers.
Grethel, let me ask you this. Do you know what happens if you cast Pearl or Flare on Senior Behemoth?
I have never done it myself, so I'm not sure, but I have heard whispering of it doing terrifying counterattacks.
Oh, no, he actually gets friendlier. I'd suggest trying it the next time you come across him and you have access to a Pearl or Flare, just for a scientific experiment. Throw it out there and see how much he loves it.
Maybe I'll run into Senior Behemoth in my Ultras League seed, and I'll toss a Pearl its way. See what happens.
You never know. It could be like the magic urns, and they turn around and start healing you.
Yeah, maybe it's just the long lost secret tech of having instant death on the first phase of Senior Behemoth.
All right, that is a 44-minute unlock for Double Down. He is warping out. He is in the mid-30s. He has a level 40 lock. That is the requisite number of levels you need to beat the game. I fully expect him to head on over to Kepka's Tower and make the dive. What do you think, Gretham?
Yeah, like maybe there's like a spot where he's seen like a Mega Elixir or something on the way, and he'll like stop by to pick that up. But yeah, with this much power, might as well just go dive right away.
Most definitely, and that is what he is doing. Valgan Hit will get his Mog, which is kind of a bummer because he's already done Kepka at Narsh, but
it's always rough when you feel like you're forced back to a area you've been before. Yeah, like chat's saying, this could be a wild time that Double Down puts up at the start of the season.
1000% and then some. My goodness. Yeah, and really, if any of his party members have difficulty in any of these fights, I think he has enough people that can wear those Atma weapons to spread it around. So, absolute worst case scenario to get through any part of these fights in the tower, he'll just need to re-equip some characters and shuffle some things around.
That's like, oh no, he has to move an Illumina over, or have to put an Atma offering on somebody that doesn't have one, or a VK offering. Just so many choices.
By virtue of what we've seen outside, though, we do know that Poltergeist does not pair very well with an Illumina, unless you can get very fortunate with your procs. But that's fine. That's why I mentioned we just switched that Atma weapon over. More often than not, know that Illumina smacking some fish in the face or another of the various versions of Ultros is more than enough. But you can get a little hairy with an Illumina fast, but we know that won't happen to him.
Yeah. Maybe we'll run into a goddess and force him to not press that fight command with that love token. Switch it up a little bit. Make him think about different offense.
Alright, Air Force for Schwantz. Air Force is doing Air Force things as it can do. Falcon hit dealing with the spicy chicken. In the various ways you can. Just ignore his defense and then that's how you deal with him. Fight number 1 here coming up for Double Down. Let's see what it is.
Yeah, and poor Double Down. Checked the chest in Kefka Tower. Hero ring.
Ooh.
Well, now it's here to beat up the mascot again.
Yeah, I mean, poor guy. Takes his emblem, throws it on a website, creates a league around him, and then smacks him around every time he sees him. That's some octo abuse, if you ask me.
Yeah, the image rights and then just beats them up. Very rude. No, Double Down. Maybe after this season we'll be hearing from Ultros' lawyers.
Hopefully, a little representation. But jokes aside, that lock handles Ultros quite impressively. That's smart too. He has lock over here by himself. Lock is with that Valiant Knife offering. Doesn't really need any sidekick. He just needs to be able to act a handful of times, and he'll be able to defeat anything that is thrown in front of him. So why not just put some of your other characters in? Let the other lanes have 2-party members and play it a little bit safer that way.
Locke is an animal right now and will delete anything that walks in front of him.
All right, let's see if Falcon Hit can pass his math test.
This is a nice math test to pass, getting that golem.
Oh no. Ooh. That's okay. Unfortunately, that Doomgaze is at a spot where it's not a huge time commitment to get to him to find out the bad news, so just a quick little reset and no worries, just move on.
Yeah. Ron's getting the bad news that's his 8th character, though, I mean, Locke's never really bad news with how quick some of his checks are. But at this point, maybe doesn't even need to go for 22 checks, might get that 9-character skip.
We did see Terra at Moogle Defense, so that's one where you definitely know where it is.
Mm-hmm. And you could be served to maybe just go grab that Terra anyways, because she does give you access to 5 more checks. He's kind of at that point too where he faded Ancient Castle. He's worked his way through a lot of savings checks. Everything else he has really isn't that great, and if it's not great, plus it's on an Esper, that's just gonna further his struggle. So he could possibly consider going and grab that Terra, but I don't think he will because he hasn't done the Tritox spot. And I believe this was an Esper, an Illumina, and a Flame Shield. So just a little bit of progression is going to make that less likely that he goes and grabs that Terra.
Yeah, but at this point, needing 4 more Espers, he's gonna have to do a decent amount of checks. So maybe eventually go pick that Terra up. We have an Atma weapon over here on Double Down side, who's not going to be alive for very long, with getting Locke low health right before he swings a VK.
That full only made him stronger, and yeah. Fortunately, Atma weapon has really, really poor magic power, so even when you get down to levels like that, as long as he doesn't do things that can ignore your defense, you're usually pretty safe. There are some scenarios where he can hit you with a quarter and then something that pierces your defense, like a landslide or flare, and it's a little annoying, but more often than not, Atma weapon just doesn't punch very hard.
And we see on Falconet's side that Narapa is cosplaying a train today.
Mm-hmm.
Not the hardest boss, but definitely annoying if you can't take it down before that contempt goes off. You just have to sit through all the animations.
All right, Schwantz is passing on the dragon altogether, which makes sense. He is up against the clock in the Esper hunt here. There's the cave. There we go. I was wondering if maybe Falconhead was going to land and show us, like, we'll see this cave that we didn't know existed in Final Fantasy 6. I thought that was Final Fantasy 7, but no, he was just looking for the waterfall spot all along.
Yep, and then on Double Down's side, he is through his lane with lock, so get to switch up to another lane, see if maybe finally there's some sort of boss out there that has a slight chance of doing something to slow him down. But
No.
I don't see it happening.
No, only a fool will stand between Double Down and his crown at this point in time.
At this point, we're just waiting to see how fast he takes down Kefka's tower with all the offense he has.
This is actually a perfect boss for the Illumina, because a lot of the difficulties the Doom fight presents you is the back half, where he grants himself the image status. But Illumina doesn't care. It will ignore that image status and slack you in the face anyways. Plus, Doom is weak to Pearl, so all these lovely little blocks are going to do close to max damage, if not max damage. So Illumina plus Doom is just fantastic.
And just fortunately getting that proc on the first one, which lowered the damage of his second swing, but hey, can't complain about quad 9s.
Not one bit. Double Down is through his Doom fight. Yeah, so one more fight for that guy. And again, we posit who will be foolish enough to stand between Double Down and his prize.
Yeah. Just knowing the way the city is, just like a Dataluma, just gonna pop up there and get turn 1 taken down.
Alright, so Falconhead now has his unlock. While Double Down is clearly and visibly far and ahead, these finishes are very important because Ultras League is an 8-week event, and throughout the various weeks you're fighting not only to get first, but also to get as many points as you can, and the higher you finish in your various brackets, you get more points. So while tonight, Falconhead is, sandwiched between Schwantz and Double Down, he is still highly working to finish as possibly fast as he can, because there are 12 people in the Mega Elixir pod, and the more points you accumulate, obviously, the better your chances of, in Falconhead's case, of repeating it again.
Yeah, always nice to get a top end result on the first week, because this would feel so bad just to not get a whole lot of points that first week and just know that one of your skips is just gone for the rest, and you have to make sure all the rest of your runs are just perfection.
Yeah, because your top 6 finishes are what counts. Your bottom 2 drop from a point standpoint. So you get out of jail free cards, but ultimately you need to put together 6 strong finishes to possibly advance out of your bracket, or in the case of these runners, to finish on top of the entire shebang. So
I wonder how many checks Falconhead's doing. I wonder if it's just he doesn't feel strong enough to blow through the tower, or if this is just that one step closer to getting a skip.
it's definitely a skip play. 54-24. Double Down is on the stitches and switches, and my goodness, is that impressive.
Yeah. I wonder if you're there in chat, put in chat how long you think this Kefka fight's gonna take him, because I don't think Kefka's gonna be around for that long. So put your guesses in chat real quick before they start.
So it looks like Falconhead's only on 19 checks right now, and this will be number 20.
Okay, so I guess getting the Opera Dragon to get up to 20, and then maybe going down the middle lane to get the 21st and 22nd.
Yeah, most definitely. Plus, all these wonderful levels don't hurt either. They don't hurt the cause either. Double Down is on his final fight. Put your predictions down in the chat for how fast you think this very, very fast individual tonight will finish. My guess is I think it's more of a hope, but I put my hope in the chat. Let us know when you think he will finish. You have until the end of Tier 1 to get your guesses in the chat. And remember, when you make your guesses, that he has access to Quick, he has access to Phantom, Golem, and Fenrir. He has access to, I believe, Mute as well. So all pieces of the puzzle Double Down is operating with here.
The break isn't cooperating currently, so maybe an X zone will get it. So at this point, with how much offense he has, might just be worth just to swing with the fight. But X zone fight works every once in a while. X zone not known to have the greatest accuracy, but it got the job done here.
Ooh, looks like he's throwing a flood out there just in case his locks get spicy and aims down instead of up. Just like that, as a matter of fact. Oh my goodness.
The lock goes down. So yeah, if the head is the last part alive and then dies, he'll counter with all the shockwaves.
Yeah, when you come down and you come back up, you lose your float status, but that doesn't matter because the head had already died, and Double Down is done with Tier 1 on 57 minutes on the dot.
Tier 2, you just have to be a little bit worried about that Tigers. You don't want to get zombied, but try an instant death with tools in the middle and throw that mute onto the caster in the back, and then it's not the scariest of the phase if you have enough utility.
Yeah, the solution to this phase is 1, cast mute. Step 2, cast instant death. Actually, you may not even bother with the instant death. With he may bother, turn his Illumina into some instant death here and just let those swing. But still probably faster here to throw out some X zones, throw out some Dooms, and
Well, X zone works again.
yes, amazing.
And then when it's locked turn here, he's gonna be swinging for a massive chunk of damage when he's this low health.
Yeah, just a cool 20,000 every turn from lock, plus all of the amazing things that his Cyan can throw that we've been holding on to. Just a little update on Schwantz. Schwantz is going back for that Terra. He's going to get his 9th character that will give him his skip, and he just needs to muster up one more Esper some way, somehow.
I think you said earlier that Terra has 5 checks.
Yes. One of those checks, by the way, is right in the same town that he's about to find her, and that is the Wolf Gate, so he could very much have his skip and his unlock before possibly even the sub 1 hour mark. Well, maybe around the sub 1 hour mark, or the 1 hour mark and some change. Because you do have to wait for these wolves to pass, and they do take a few seconds. But nevertheless, despite all of Schwantz's struggles, he has rebounded very nicely, and he is back on the right path to catching back up in this race. I would dare say that Double Down is probably not in his sights, but Falcon Hit is definitely in his sights.
Yeah, and then if that Welk check doesn't work out, always nice to have Mobliz, because that's a peekable check. See if there's that Esper there or not, even before doing it.
Yeah, because we can just warp out, save, and if we see yet another character sprite, we can just reset and not bother with it. Although if we do see maybe a Zetzer, that may be worth something to do, because Zetzer does give you 2 really, really fast checks to do that could possibly be an Esper, so we'll see. Alright, so Falcon Hit's getting the good news. He gets to fight Doom with an Illumina, which is a recipe for success.
It looks like phase 2 is going to be going down here real quick. Yep.
Oh no. Well, I think he had already took his 10 hits, but that quarter will get rid of his banish, but
Hopefully Hit is down. Yep, he is, so be a little low health going in here, but he has Cure 3 on somebody at least to get everybody back up.
Alright, so this tier can open with Merton, but we do have a pretty decent amount of Merton protection by virtue of all of those flame shields and ice shields we have access to. So no in danger of dying here. That's another one interesting thing about this tier 3. The only thing that can really kill you on the opening sequence is Merton. So if you have one character that can negate that, you can't really die. But you can later on in the fight because he can get a little interesting later on when you start to do some damage to him. Gretham, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, because tier 3 here, yeah, you just want to make sure you get the girl down, because she will spam heals, which is annoying, and then you just want to get the sleep down to about 29k, and then pop your calmness protection, and then just pump out the damage so that you don't get countered by meteor terrain.
Yep. And you can't be countered between quick turns, and Double Down knows that. And my goodness, 101.30, he is on the tier 4.
So Schwann's found Strago at Welk, and so he's going to mobilize, it looks like.
Yeah, Mobliz here for Swans is peekable. We'll talk to this little girl, and she will tell us what the town is holding on to and holds valuable. And if we want it, we're going to take it from them. Ooh, that's Ragnarok the Sword, though.
Yeah, wrong Ragnarok.
All right, moment of truth for Double Down. How fast will this fight take him?
Oh. So Schwantz is doing this, so maybe?
Maybe I am wrong. I thought if it was all caps, that it means it's the Esper, but maybe I have bad information.
I'm not sure. We will use the Schwantz for science, and we'll see what pops out here after he gets through his Fambaba and whatever else is there.
Alright, so Double Down is, this block action is gonna do it. It's 2000 HP, and we're gonna cross that threshold on this tier.
Yeah, just lock swinging for 20k and popping quick.
Yeah.
Hot damn.
103.04 is the official time.
Yeah, somebody guessed a 103. Yeah, per Leering. Yeah, pretty much 103 exactly, so good job on that. Man, that is a solid time to start off the season.
Alright, so let's pretend that I you know what I want to do. I'm ashamed that I have to compete against this guy. We're gonna get him in there for an interview. Just a moment while we get the invite for him.
We have Falcon Hit taking on his cranes, working his way through Kefka Tower, and that was the Esper for Schwantz. So he does have his Kefka unlock here.
And yeah, and Dretham, we are joined now by Double Down. We honestly don't know what to say. 103.04. You've beat the pants off of Schwantz Falcon Hit. How are you feeling, my dog?
That was that was really stressful. I figured everybody was gonna be right behind me. I figured when I was in the race room, you see other people start typing, and I figured they were gonna be right on my ass. But oof, that was. Oof.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about what got you going. You found an experience egg that the other two runners did not find. But obviously you don't know that. You're the only one walking around with a carton of eggs. But when you found that, what do you think you found, or what gave you the ability to finish so strongly relative to your competition?
So I don't know if everybody else found it, because I feel like it was a weird spot. The thing that I found that really changed every plan.
Hello?
Nope.
Did we lose him?
Oh shoot! Is my mic cutting out? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah, so we'll give Double Down here a moment, but if by judging what he did tonight, he should sort this out very quickly.
Yeah, so I mean, hopefully you can hear me. It'll probably keep
Okay,
cutting
we
out.
hear you. We got you. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so like basically the Super Ball in Albrook was the big game changer. You know, finding that lets you do the old Ultra League strategy of go finding a dragon and you know possibly mimicking it with Go-Go. So between that and the experience, like I was off to the races. And then knowing that there was the VK for sale in South Figaro was, you know, really made that lock that I found super interesting.
Mhm.
So yeah, all those things together, and then you know getting the early Illumina. It was too bad that Mount Zozo was a dead check, but it being an Illumina really just solidified what was already going to be a very good offense. I mean, it's always a fast start when you have throw and go, but yeah, everything just went pretty well. Other than a few fights that went really annoying, like that stupid Air Force fight where he shrapneled me, or I think there was another fight that I had that just things kind of went really annoyingly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is a saying that if you don't respect Air Force, sometimes he'll make you respect him. And I think as that shrapnel came in, I was like, yeah, there's nothing to worry about here. And next thing you know, 3 characters were down. And I was like, oh my goodness, I jinxed them.
Yeah, I didn't think my defenses were that bad. And then I tried to stabilize. I should have just reset out immediately. It took me a little too long to sort of pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, so just a little recap what's still going on. Falcon Hit is now beginning his tier 1. Schwantz is beginning his trek into Kefka's tower here in just a moment. So as we mentioned, you know, these finishes are important. While you were the winner tonight, Falcon Hit and Schwantz are still vying to compete with others. Because the higher you finish, obviously the more points you get. But knowing that you have such a strong finish in the bag in week 1, how does that make you approach the rest of the weeks going forward?
I don't think it changes my strategy or anything like that. I mean, my strategy is always just try to finish the seed as quickly as I can. It helps with the stress level a little bit, that I'm not so worried. And it's...
Oh, you cut out.
Oh, sorry. If you've got like one first place in Mega Elixir, I find you've got a little bit more of a buffer to not get booted. But I mean, you can't sleep on it. You still need to get some other good finishes. So hopefully I can just piece together a few other like thirds and fourths and then cruise to survival for another season.
All right, and very well said. Yeah, I'll let you see what I did when you make your way to the spoiler room. I'll save you the suspense. You crushed me as well, but for various different reasons. Looks like Falcon Hit, Schwantz, and myself all had different struggles for different things going on. So I think with all of that in mind, that finish will hold up very strong, despite there being a plethora of other talented runners coming. But now that we've let you know all that, Gretham, do you have anything else for Double Down before we let him go?
Well, I guess the only question I have is how much did you pay off Ultros to give you that almost like a Moogle Cup seed with all that offense? How did it just feel to just have all those swords?
No comment. You know, Ultros and I, we have an understanding. I named a league after him, and he slides me a couple of Luminas and Ragnaroks once in a while. So, you know, we have an understanding. We'll leave it at that.
All right, and yeah, GG's again, 103.04. I know your time in the race room was a little different, but 103.04 is what we had you as. But I think you're the head guy. We'll let you determine what your time wants to be or not want it to be, and we'll go from there.
Sure, sounds good.
All right, thank you. Double Down, GG's again, and have a good night.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for restreaming, and thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so Falcon Hit is making his way through Tier 2. Atmo Weapon for Schwantz. So Atmo Weapon is one of the statue fights, and Schwantz is still working his way through him. Well, I take that back. He has now worked his way through him, and on he goes to the next statue fight.
Yep, and then we have Falcon Hit. What looks like he's finishing off phase 2 here with most likely a final death counter. Oh, no, he still has his head alive. Or did he not mute?
No, I don't think he has.
He didn't mute.
Yeah. Yeah, a little different order of operations here without mute, because maybe you kill him now first. That way you're not suffering endless, quarters into a potentially fatal AoE attack.
Yeah, because this caster is really wants to keep him low health all that quarter spam. Hey, those Cure 3s are coming in useful.
Alright, finally, some good luck for Schwantz. He is able to X-Zone Leader into Oblivion with 1 turn.
Yeah, that +2 strength aspect coming in for Falcon here. What looks like he's throwing shurikens for 8.5k, I believe is what I saw.
That's a fair amount of damage. That's no double down damage, but it's a fair amount.
Yeah, no 20k, but hey, it's not bad for throwing a shuriken. That's worth like 20.
Alright, so 1 more statue fight for Schwantz, so he will be on switches. I'll go ahead and inform you now, Gretham, of my time. I was at a 122.54. So I think Falcon Hit, unless he stumbles, will comfortably clear me. But Schwantz, Schwantz and myself are now in a firm competition for 3rd and 4th place. So for Schwantz, for the suspense, 122.54 is the time he needs to catch up to not be in last place of the current finishers, but to pass me and put me in last place.
Yep. I do want to point out, this is definitely a Mega Elixir problem. Talk about how cursed the seed is and how bad it was for you. And it's like, oh, I finished with a 122. Oh no.
Yeah, us 1%ers up here. No. I think this was a good example of even though I had access to a lot of Luminos, but I didn't make as good as use of them as what Double Down and to some of the extent Falcon Hit as well. So even though you can get the good stuff, sometimes you still got to be able to know what to do with it and effectively use it to get those lower times. Golem out for Falcon Hit. We are very firmly entrenched, doing all the right things we need to do to get through this tier 3, and we should be done with it here shortly.
Yep, and Schwann's finishing off his Crane fight, so he's going to be starting his Kefka fight here, see if he can push for that 122 time or not.
Yep. Little sleeping bag action, and oh no, I stand corrected. We needed to do one more fight.
Oh, I guess he did center lane first. Oh, you got Meteor over here on Falcon Hit's side. Everybody's some misses, good. Ah, just cracking a flame shield.
Yeah.
Hit.
Ooh, no. That's unfortunate. I think Locke... Yeah, Locke was his VK wearer, right? No, maybe not. I think maybe he had earmarked Cyan for this fight alone. Remember, he had that Bahamut +2 Esper for quite a while, longer than anybody else. Cyan, he has pumped up with quite a bit of magic power, so 4,700 magic on a Fire 3 for a Cyan is very respectable versus what you would typically expect out of Cyan.
Yeah, this is a smart old man now. No, he studied a bit later in life and has gotten real good at magic.
Yeah, all of those books up there in that mountain that he's been storing, he actually read some of them, and some of them taught them some of the mystic arts from, an age ago. Alright, tier number 4 for Falcon Hit. Yeah, this is full send mode. This is a good time to get rid of all of those flame shields we've acquired, because you can't take them with us into a new game plus.
Yep, and just it's always nice to be able to mimic a flame shield. Just showing how absurd the Double Down's offense was here. Just being able to blow through this phase well. Falcon here has to wait for the charge phase. See if he has enough damage here to finish him off in the charging phase.
Yeah.
I would assume
just
so.
A little more. Maybe just one more flame shield should do it.
Oh, and Doom goes down for Schwantz. He'll be able to start his Kefka fight here.
Yeah, very nicely done. Moment of truth, was that enough for Falcon Hit?
Can we get the crack, bang, boom?
There
We are.
1:15:04 for Falcon Hit.
Throw those GGs in the chat.
Yeah,
for Falcon Hit.
Indeed. Yeah, so as we mentioned, Falcon Hit comfortably finishes in 2nd place tonight and in the overall standings. And again, Schwantz is competing with that number we mentioned earlier. Yeah, so speak of the devil, 11504 himself, GG's. We are joined by Falconet, my dog. GG's. What do you think of that finish?
You know, this kind of felt like an easy sub 110, but I got encounters that I was kind of just a little bit unlucky, right? Because I went to Doomgaze and then I died, and I was just like, ah, shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I'll just like level up at Phantom Drain, and then I did, and I went back and easily killed him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, in my mind, I was thinking, man, this like 2 minutes at the Coliseum is probably going to cost me like 1 or 2 placements. It turns out that I didn't know I was going against him with the literal speed demon.
Yeah, you could. Yeah,
Was it
I don't.
did double down? What was it? I think the best round might have been like Amaro. Where you get Amaro, you do Amaro checks, you get the Illumina, and then you go straight into Edgar checks. Is that what Double Down did?
Honestly, he went so fast we couldn't keep track of it. So yeah, he just started the seed. The timer started going, and then moments later he was done, and he was in there talking to us. But no, he did find an experience egg in one of those weird spots. It was in the outside barrel in the that kind of wraps around to the transport room in South Figaro. So it's one of those chests that if you do World of Balance South Figaro, if you do World of Ruin, you'll get it one or the other. So Schwartz.
Oh, the one that goes to the
yeah.
basement, right? Yeah.
Everybody went there, but he was the only one that did the basement in that part of the town. So yeah, that's where the egg was hiding, and then all the Illuminas, as we mentioned.
Was there a Genji Club somewhere?
There was. He also came across the Katana Soul, the Gigantos, so all the good stuff, and he was very also fortunate in the right order you found it in. So like when he came across, he avoided the Magi Master that you and Schwantz had found. So there's just some fortunate routing along with high level gameplay there that and that was really the recipes to produce times like that, and that's what he did, and that's what he has. That
Magi Master was kind of. I was a little bit hopeful because. I really want to go back to Narsh, right? Because I didn't buy Atlas Armlets the first time I was there, and I was like, man, I'm going to regret not buying an Atlas Armlet when I went there at the beginning of the game. And then I was like, oh, I'll just like... Because I was down to like 3 checks, right? It was Acre checks plus a Kafka and Narsh. And I was just like, oh, I'll just do Kafka and Narsh. Mm-hmm. And 4 checks, but I was like never going to do Veld, right? Because it was like the worst Veld of all time. Because I had already fought Super Behemoth, and I had already fought Pearl Dragon or White Dragon, and I was just like, I'm never going on this. I don't even have dried meat. I'm never going on this belt in a million years.
No, that brings up another good point too. Is that there was a Super Ball out there. I believe he said Albrook. So you keep on that Super Ball, and this because you mentioned it. Because you were trying to trade that elixir for one. That when you have a go start, you can go do a free dragon, as long as probably not the blue dragon, right?
Yeah.
But once he took that dragon, he was off to the races. So you combine that, really, really fast times take good RNG and high level game playing aggressiveness. And the seed gave him the RNG, and then he had the aggressiveness, he had the high level gameplay, and the rest was history.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Man, okay. I probably should have abandoned the Super Ball, but I didn't, my brain didn't recognize that it was a Madam, because it's level 8. In my mind, I was like, oh, it's going to, cast 1 high-level spell, and then it's going to run out of MP. It did not run out of MP, it just kept casting Flare. How can it cast Flare on me? I'm so confused. Right? Because it was level 8. Shouldn't it cast, I don't know, Demi?
Yeah,
it's like a hard-coded spell or something.
Maybe I've never looked at maybe ability skeleton doesn't impact the Colosseum.
It's possible. Oh, maybe it doesn't impact Colosseum scripts.
Maybe. I've never thought about it that hard because usually Colosseum's always one of those things where you never have long fights like that to think about it. It's either you win it or you reset it and get mad.
That's true. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense if it doesn't affect Colosseum scripts because they're very set.
Yeah, but we're nerding out over here over the Colosseum. But just to recap on Schwantz is on his tier 2. This timer just cost the 120. Yeah, so heartbreaking news. Just to recap, we talked about Double Down. Schwantz was at 1 Esper at the 45-minute mark. he has rebounded very nicely to get back in this to finish with a strong finish. You know,
What
He's
is
gonna
the esper that I have that he does not?
he beat the Magi Master. It must be the Ragnarok from Mobliz, because Terra was in Mogul Defense, and he took that Terra. That's his 9th character.
Did he go down to Ancient Castle?
No,
Oh,
nobody went down to Ancient Castle but me.
I don't think it was bad to go to Ancient Castle in this one, but
Thank you. Thank you, because I asked Gretham every time somebody went down there. I was like, "Hey, Gretham, do you think they're gonna go to Ancient Castle?" And Gretham's like, "No, only a fool would go down there." And it kept happening over and over again. But finally, somebody takes the slack off me. I appreciate it.
it's not bad because you really want experience in the seed, right? Because you have 3 physical attackers. And yeah, I don't know. I'm going back and forth a lot because also the monster in the boxes aren't that valuable because you already found the Gigantos. I think it's okay. Was it an Esper?
It was dead, and it was like another Illumina.
Truly unfortunate.
But nevertheless, 1:15:04 is your time. What are you gonna do with that time going forward? How does that make you feel about your placement tonight? And what are you gonna do the rest of the season?
Man, I'm gonna need so many sub 110s to go against this 115 if I want to get sub 110 average. Also, I can't see the Megalixir room. What the heck? I can't put my time in. I probably need to like clear my Discord cache or something.
If you go up to the channels and roles, and if you follow the Ultra Sleep thread, you can see it back. If not, I'll ping you in it, and you can be able to see it. I'll ping you in it. There you go.
Oh, it's below sync racing. Am I blind? I'm probably just blind.
All right, Gretham. Schwantz is descending to his tier 4. Gretham, do you have any questions for Falconet before we let him go for the evening?
No question from me. Just GG's and thank you for putting on such a good show.
Yeah, GG's indeed. Thank you again for volunteering your official run tonight to be on Restream, and we appreciate it, my dog.
No problem. I'm just in awe that there's a 103 seed or time in this seed. I'm not in awe, but like, there's so many like factors that like contributed to this. Well run, well run.
Yeah, well run indeed.
Thanks for having me on as usual.
Yep, you bet. So Schwantz is into the Gunner phase. With again, Schwantz is time a little behind, but he has fouled the offense. Everybody else will. So this fight will be over here just momentarily.
Yep. Just swinging away with Atmos and Illumina, throwing Ragnaroks.
Yeah. Yeah, even with the Illumina and the offering Atma weapon, the blind status from the train doesn't really impact anything. Schwantz is gonna do or not do.
Getting his flame shield ready to crack.
Yep, throw it on out there. That might do it. Oh, this should definitely do it. Yeah.
Oh, and yep, there's the crack.
Ooh, 125 on the dot. 1/10 of a second away from a 125.01. GG's to Schwantz. Very nice recovery tonight, despite all of the difficult things and unfortunate timing and some of his encounters and the thing that were presented to him. GG's all around.
Looks like we'll be getting him here for an interview also.
Speak of the devil. Hello, Governor. Can you hear us?
Yo, hey, how's it going?
Very GG Swans, very nice recovery because, as we mentioned earlier, you had one Esper not that long ago, and it seems you flew through the rest of the seed. After that difficult opening, what was your thought process to rebound and get back going in the race?
Yeah, I was just trying to narrow out my focus and just say, all right, well, I have my characters. Let's go just do the checks that will get me the things that I need and then go. I kind of had an idea of what my final party was going to be when I got Sabin as my 5th character at minute, I don't know, like 10, 15, something like that, into the seed. So I knew what I had to do in order to get my final party build. It was just a matter of execution, and it was sort of a mixed bag there, right?
Yeah.
Ran into some nasty bosses. I don't know if anybody else ran into the same nasty bosses that I did. I think I fought like all of the bad ones. Poltergeist, Doomgaze, Magimaster, Air Force, Doom and Kefka's Tower. It was just brutal.
Yeah. Double Down did not run across some of the ones you did, but all of the difficult ones, the Poltergeist, the Magimaster, the Doomgaze, Falcon Hit came across, but Falcon Hit did have a little more easier go of it because he had access to Berserk. I think immediately after you cleared Magimaster, like your next Esper was the Berserk Esper, and that's just, sometimes RNG goes that way for one person as opposed to the other, and there's nothing you can do about it. But very good showing to get through that fight, anyways. Even without the Berserk, you just said it took a little bit longer, and then the Doomgaze you didn't have anything for, but it happens.
Yeah, you just dust yourself off and you go to the next thing. You don't ponder the what ifs. You just, you have a plan. You always try and have a backup plan whenever you're sort of going en route to one place, right? Flying in the airship, that's your time to think and talk through, hey, what am I doing next, et cetera, et cetera. I knew that with a throw and go-go start that I could sort of run up the score a little bit. The issue was, we ran into some really nasty bosses early on, and maybe that was my fault in my routing. But I was hoping that getting all of my characters front-loaded would give me sort of an advantage, and it turns out that that's not the case.
Let me ask you this, because you did have a little bit different route than anybody else did.
Yeah.
What led to your decision to go to Thamasa, go to Zone Eater, to go to some of the places you did off the beaten path?
Yeah, so when I have Edgar, I like to do Figaro Castle and then World of Ruin South Figaro to get the discount out of the way before I do any of my other shopping. This way I could buy stuff at the cheapest it'll be. And then with Go-Go in my party, for starting, I'm always looking for warp stones, and if I find them, then I'll go do the Zone Eater check and then wrap around and loot Thamasa, because it's a fairly small town with some treasure chests in there, right? So that was kind of the idea there, is go do the 2 Edgar things that I know I'm going to do. If I find warp stones, then I go there. If I don't, then I would have done something else. And, maybe I should have taken some more grind fights at the beginning of the seed, because I think part of it also was my levels were pretty low, in spite of the fact that we had Throw and Go-Go. I perhaps should have gotten my levels a little bit higher in order to do some of those fights. So looking back in hindsight, right, I was at Kefka Tower Skip with 9 and 9, and I only was at level 32 and 33. So probably should have taken 1 or 2 more fights in the beginning of the seed, and then it would have snowballed into being better equipped to deal with some of those fights, because some of those boss fights took forever. And I know part of it is when you're multicasting Bahamut a bunch of times, that takes a while. But I think some of it is too. I should have leveled up a little bit more at the beginning as well.
Yeah, very well said. Gretham, before we wind this down, do you have anything else you'd like to throw out there for Swans or ask them about tonight's race?
Don't have any questions. I just want to apologize, because apparently whenever you get restreamed, and Glue and I are commentating it is cursed.
I will not apologize for that as your competitor, but I do feel bad for you a little bit.
It's all good. Listen, we have 8 weeks of Ultras League. We get to drop 2 of our finishes times will normalize over the course of a season, so don't get discouraged if maybe your week 1 run wasn't as good as you wanted to. Last season, I forfeited week 1, and I ended up being in like 4th place of Mega Elixir. So sometimes that happens. You'll run into a seed where you're like, well, I didn't do as good as I wanted to. The important part is to take those adjustments and make them for your future runs, right? So I'm hoping to carry that forward, is, you know, maybe get some more levels. Level 7 was not quite enough, even with a throw character.
Yeah. Very well said. Because remember, your bottom 2 results drop off, and while obviously you'd rather finish, first the week 1 instead of taking the forfeit or come up with a lesser result, you still have 7 more weeks to produce 6 strong finishes. So we look forward to you doing that.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not disappointed in my time. I just know that obviously I could have been a bit faster with this particular seed. And who knows, anything can happen in Worlds Collide. Any runner can beat any other runner on any given runner day, right? Isn't there a quote from like some football movie or something like that? But yeah, so the last 2 times I raced against Falcon Hit, I managed to beat him. So the law of averages means he has to beat me now 4 more times in a row. So I'll take this loss and the next 2 or 3. So that'll be fine by me.
Yeah. Very well said. And GG's again. Thank you for volunteering your week 1 run to be on stream for our entertainment and enjoyment. And we appreciate you, my dog.
Thank you so much, Drinks, Glue, Gretham, and Joker Mage for putting on the restream. Can't have the streams without the staff. So thank you guys so much for pushing the buttons and talking the talks and walking the walks there. So hopefully we'll do this again sometime soon.
Yeah, we will definitely be doing it again. And GG's again.
GG's, guys. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Bye-bye.
And that is it for us tonight. Gretham, do you have any final words you would like to throw out there before I sign us off?
Oh, just if you enjoyed what you're watching, just go to the FF6 Worlds Collide Discord, hop in there, maybe run a few seeds, ask questions in there. People are great in there, and then if you're a new player, maybe there'll be another Moogle Cup coming up once we get some signups.
Yes, indeed. And I want to give a special thank you to Joker Mage for pushing the buttons behind the scene. We really appreciate you. And I personally missed you, Joker. Glad you are back and doing well. Thank you to Gretham for doing commentary with me tonight. And also thank you to anybody that tuned into these shenanigans. We appreciate your time checking us out. And also a special thank you to SpeedGaming for allowing us to showcase our great game and playing it. It's just so much fun to be able to play, a video game like Final Fantasy VI in some capacity, a normal single-player game, and to share it with friends and play it with other people when it's normally not intended not to. And it's just a fantastic experience, and thank you, SpeedGaming, for allowing us to do so. And with that, I hope everybody has a fantastic night.